Welcome to Ephphatha. Jesus said, "Be opened." In the Gospel of Mark, chapter 3, verses 1 to 6, we encounter the profound account of Jesus healing a man with a withered hand on the Sabbath. This narrative is rich with theological significance and historical parallels that deepen our understanding of Jesus' ministry and the broader biblical context. The withered hand, a symbolic parallel. The term withered hand evokes a notable incident in the Old Testament involving King Jeroboam. In 1 Kings 13:4, as Jeroboam attempts to seize a prophet who speaks against his idolatrous practices, his hand withers, rendering it immobile. When King Jeroboam heard what the man of God cried out against the altar at Bethel, he stretched out his hand from the altar and said, "Seize him." But the hand he stretched out toward the man shriveled up so that he could not pull it back. This affliction served as a divine judgment against Jeroboam's idolatry and his departure from the worship centered in Jerusalem. For the Jewish people, a withered hand be a potent symbol of the consequences of turning away from God and the holy city. A solemn oath. The association between a withered hand and the remembrance of Jerusalem is poignantly expressed in Psalm 137, verse 5. "If I forget you, Jerusalem, may my right hand forget its skill." This verse underscores the deep connection between faithfulness to God and the centrality of Jerusalem in Jewish worship. The imagery of the right hand losing its ability signifies the severe spiritual and communal consequences of neglecting the covenant relationship with God. Jesus' healing, restoration, and renewal. By healing the man with the withered hand, Jesus not only demonstrates his compassion and divine authority, but also symbolically restores what was lost due to disobedience and idolatry. This act can be seen as a gesture of healing the fractures within the people of Israel, reminiscent of the divisions that occurred under Jeroboam's rule. Following this healing, Jesus appoints the 12 apostles, representing the 12 tribes of Israel. This selection signifies a reconstitution of the people of God, emphasizing that through Jesus, the scattered and divided tribes are being restored and unified. Challenging comfort zones, a lesson in faith. In this narrative, Jesus challenges the comfort zones of the religious leaders and the societal norms of his time. Healing on the Sabbath was controversial, yet Jesus emphasizes that doing good and saving life transcends ritualistic observance. He poses the question in Mark 3:4, which is lawful on the Sabbath, to do good or to do evil, to save life or to kill? Jesus' question finds its roots in historical precedents. The Book of Maccabees records a pivotal moment when the Jewish people debated the necessity of fighting to protect their lives on the Sabbath. They said to one another, "If we all do as our kindred have done, and do not fight against the Gentiles for our lives and our laws, they will soon destroy us from the earth." So on that day they came to this decision: "Let us fight against anyone who attacks us on the Sabbath, so that we may not all die as our kindred died in their secret refuges." 1 Maccabees 2, verse 40 to 41. This historical context reinforces Jesus' teaching that acts of mercy and preservation of life are aligned with the spirit of the law. Faith in action, the man's response. When Jesus instructs the man to stretch out his hand, the man faces a moment of decision. Despite his ailment, he makes the effort to obey, and in doing so, his hand is restored. This act teaches us that even when faced with challenges, taking a step of faith invites divine intervention and grace into our lives. Sabbath healings, a time for restoration. Many of Jesus' healings occur on the Sabbath, underscoring the day's intended purpose as a time for restoration and blessing. As we gather for worship, we can anticipate God's healing touch, embracing the fullness of life that Jesus offers. In summary, the healing of the man with the withered hand is a multifaceted narrative that connects historical events, symbolizes spiritual restoration, and challenges believers to embrace faith and compassion over rigid ritualism. Thank you for listening, and please subscribe to the channel, Ephphatha Catholic.